Oh, hello! Holy shit. Whoa, hang on, that's the wrong one. There we go, that's better. Hey, everyone. Hey, everyone.
Hey, guys.
Jesus Christ. So, welcome, everyone, to Die Party Fragged Empire, the first player episode. And if you're going to type, please mute yourself for crying out loud. Especially with the clickety-clacks. So, sorry we're late to getting started here, but as you all probably are 100% aware, Skype is a tremendous poop lord. And I will continue to say that until forever, because it is. It is the worst program. If you're ever going to do something similar to what we're doing here on Die Party, please, for the love of God, do not use Skype. It is the worst thing since sliced bread.
Hey.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we got a fan.
So it's pretty good.
It is pretty good. We've got a great show coming up. So basically, we're going to be playing Fragged Empire tonight. It's a beta tabletop game. There's Wade's in the chat. He'll be directing any answers you guys might have if you need more information than we personally know, because we've scoured the PDFs. We've scoured everything. We've gone through as much as we can. And we're probably still going to have questions, and that's just the way it is with this game. So heads up, there's probably going to be a lot of head scratching and stuff like that, but that's all right. I think we got it pretty down pat as is. So let me go ahead and introduce the crew of tonight's game. First up, we have Graham Warden, who will be playing. Hang on, I got your character name here. It's Cannon. You'll be playing Cannon. Who is what is your character type again? Character race?
Kaltoran.
Kaltoran, yes, that's right. Up next, we have Jacob, who will be playing Caswell, who is also a Kaltoran.
Hello.
Hello. Who is he's coming out of a sickness, or are you going into a sickness right now?
I am currently in one.
Currently in one. Okay, well, yeah, so that's Caswell. He's probably going to be starting off in the medical bay. We'll see. Up next, we have Caleb, who will be playing Gifka. What is your race again? You're muted.
Gifka, you're muted because you were typing to me.
Yeah. I'm Legion.
Legion, yep. And then we have Philip, who will be playing Varian. Varian. God damn it.
Varian the corporate.
Yeah, he's a corporate. And then I will be playing Dr. Halls Talios, a Nephilim. And last but not least, we have Wreckage, who will be our GM. And as you can see, he refused
best GM thing
to have a... he kept going on about being behind the GM shield. So I'm like, what a better gift to use than something from Fist of the North Star. So
I haven't seen this one yet.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so he refuses to use webcam. So in exchange,
when I'm
I get
GM,
to put things.
you got to keep up the theater of it all. In the old days, they had a piece of cardboard that you would put in front of your face, and these days we're going to use crazy GIFs and pictures.
Yeah.
Oh god, that GIF is perfect.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So we're going to be playing the survival variant of Fragged Empire, which is a lot different from the actual game. It basically means that we start off with a lot less. And, well, not in this particular game. Oh, actually, Wreckage, why don't you explain how it's going to work?
I'll go ahead and take it from here. Because we're sort of an exploratory group on the game, I felt it was really important that the first session have an opportunity for us to practice and learn sort of all of the facets of the game. So, that being said, the first session sort of isn't the survival variant, and then from now on, after the first session, it will be the survival variant. The first session, I feel I've designed a situation where we can hit all the points, we can do some skill checks, and we can do some combat, mostly combat, because as we've been told by the creator of the game, it's only a dense system when you haven't played it a few times. So we're gonna get through playing it, is sort of the gist. And that being the case, I think we're ready to start.
Okay.
Any objections, Dave?
No, absolutely none. We're 30 minutes behind, so let's get this puppy started. Huh?
Okay.
So we're going to be playing with some ambient music on and whatnot as well. So why don't you start up all the cool stuff that you got going there, and I'll turn up the music to make sure it's actually hearable. There we go. Hear that hum? Do you hear that hum?
Yeah, we got ambient noise. We got ambient noise. All right. Can everyone confirm that in the Roll20 you have changed to a battle map?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
I see some dead people.
I now realize what you meant by my character icon. That's great. Maybe turn the music down just a bit so that the ambient music can come up. I don't have no control over that, so.
All right. I'm turning it down. Let me know if it's pretty good. All right. Let's set the scene.
Sure.
You are on board the Reclamation, a science transport vessel heading from sort of the main worlds in the Haven system out to the Black Reach Nebula to a system called the Outpost system. Now, the Black Reach Nebula is a fascinating spatial phenomenon that traps and rebroadcasts radio signals. So it's sort of it's sort of cut off from communication from the rest of the galaxy. And during the war, many ships and many people fled there to try and escape the war. So the Black Reach Nebula is actually filled with the SOS signals and the last breaths and dying calls of war vessels and escaping civilian vessels and all sorts of tragic noises. So flying through the Black Reach Nebula as you are now, a vessel is typically radio silent, so they don't have to hear it. Corporation interests back in the Haven system are very enticed by the idea of salvaging the floating wrecks and ancient sort of technological treasures that are left over in the Black Reach Nebula. And as such, a colony has been established on in the Outpost system, which is one of the first systems with a habitable planet inside the Black Reach Nebula. The Reclamation, your transportation vessel, is a skeletal vessel, which is to say that the top is a spine with basic necessities like the bridge, the engine compartment, a medical bay, for example, and an underbelly to which you can attach, based on your need, extra cargo space or extra passenger space or what have you. Right now, the Reclamation is sort of running at 2080, with 20% of its underbelly being for passengers and 80% of its underbelly being used for cargo space, which means it's got a crew complement now of around about 80, most of which are passengers. You just entered the Black Reach Nebula a couple days ago, and you're expected to have to be traveling through it for quite a few more days. It's currently the night cycle on the ship. In order to maintain, circadian rhythms, spaceships have enforced day and night, and right now it's the night shift. Dr. Talios, however, as I am to understand it, is hard at work in the medical bay, performing. What are you doing, Talios? Why don't you run us through what you're doing in the middle of the night?
So Dr. Talios is he's mostly a scientist by nature, and by doing something within by doing autopsies and stuff like that, he has come to know a lot of stuff about medical things as well, medical science and whatnot. So right now, Dr. Talios is elbow deep inside of a did we decide what type of creature it was? We're just gonna. Is one of the passengers on the ship who has since passed away since the start of the.
So he's passed away on the journey, and you want to do an autopsy.
So he's doing an autopsy, mostly for mostly for curiosity's sake, also for the sake of him furthering his medical knowledge and he will be attempting to his papers and whatnot, his research papers on a particular subject, which I won't go into too much detail now.
Yeah, but this also strikes me as a perfect opportunity for us to test out doing a skill check.
Okay.
So we're going to have to roll to perform this autopsy that you're in the middle of, as if it's been planned by some unknowing and shadowy figure, perhaps behind a GM screen.
A virtual GM screen.
What a perfect time for us to explore the concept of doing a skill check.
All right, so let's elaborate a little bit on what the skill check actually entails.
Now, my understanding is that the medical skill is for rooting around in a live patient and keeping them alive, whereas the biotech skill is non-living organic fooling around.
That could be right. I'm pretty sure though it's just medical still.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue it either way as the player. You could argue which one you want to use.
For my purposes, though, if I'm doing it strictly for my research, it is biotech.
So are you doing so that's basically up to you. Are you rooting around in this patient to perform an actual official autopsy, or to do something a little more free range?
Something a little more free range, I believe.
Then I would ask for a biotech roll.
All right. So so why don't you explain to everyone what the skill roll actually entails?
I'm trying to actually get to that page. Here we go. So making a skill roll, you roll 3d6, plus or minus your skill, I guess, and then plus or minus 2 for a good description.
So basically, let's assume that this man has passed away via cardiac arrest.
Okay.
So my understanding of what I want to do, what I want to accomplish within this autopsy, is to see if I can restart his heart using biotech.
You want to restart his heart using biotech. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to say that is a... is it something you've done before? Have you accomplished this in the past?
No, I haven't.
Then I'm going to say it's a difficult task.
Okay, sure. I mean, so I've done so basically, I'm going to be starting my research. Let's say I've done research on this before, but it's only recently that I've sort of found the path that I want to go down. Simply because we can't start off with I have all this knowledge of all this stuff. So. He basically Halls has had a passing interest in this stuff, but only now has had the opportunity to strike out and start doing it since he's out in a sector that isn't really covered by, I guess, sort of law or.
I would say oversight. There isn't
oversight. Yeah. All right. Yep. That's good. So that's basically what's happening here. So if you still want to make it a difficult check, I'm cool with that.
It is just because you haven't done it before. So,
right, so what is
you're
the
actually
roll, then?
trying to accomplish restarting his heart with biotech. It's going to be a difficult task. This isn't about hiding, you haven't accomplished it before, so this is sort of an experiment.
Yep.
So we're going to go with 16 or more needed, and if you describe to me how you're doing it, you can get a plus or minus 2 for...
All right. Okay, so basically I'm going to be injecting into the heart little tiny organisms that will attempt to revigorate his heart by not by like making him come back to life or anything like that, but more just to see if he can internally pump the organ without actually having the patient be alive, to see that if he can pump blood around the patient without it being something that is required the patient to be alive to actually do.
So you're just trying to sort of circumvent the sort of the hippocampus or whatever, the part of the brain that naturally does this. You want to go straight to just forcing the heart to pump.
Correct. Yes.
So I'm going to say that does give you a +2 description bonus because.
All right, I'm gonna roll then. So it's a 16 that I need.
You need a 16. So you got
All right.
So, Dr. Talios, after some fiddling around, you prepare this concoction that you've been working on for a while. He's been open and he's ready. And I mean, there's no need to stand on ceremony. You inject, you stick your syringe straight into the heart of this cadaver and inject. And at first, it seems like nothing's happening. You're a little disappointed. Your brow furrows as you look down at it. But within a few moments, you start to see twitching and convulsing in the heart, and it is moving. It's functioning. It's the blood is certainly pumping through. There's not a steady or predictable heartbeat, and that's a satisfactory result. That's some progress. But as time goes on, you're observing it. It becomes more and more erratic until quite suddenly the heart just explodes in your face after a big ramp up in its activity, and you're just smeared in blood now, and blood's everywhere. But you made some progress. That was a definite result.
Yeah. So he'll mark down his findings. Talos will mark down his findings, and he sort of comment. He's like, "Yes, quite satisfactory, indeed." Like, just sort of doctor babble, that sort of stuff. And I guess he'll go back to sort of maybe trying to do that in other organs as well, and see if he can get the same result, or if it's just with the heart that this sort of thing happens. So,
all right. So Talios continues to root around in a dead body.
Yep.
Meanwhile, in the cargo bay. We find Cannon and Gifka on patrol in the eventful cargo bay. You may want quotes around "on patrol." The two of you. The two of you are interacting, conversing, perhaps over a table that looks somewhat like a poker table. You may be discussing the finer points of defending this cargo bay from all of the external forces that mean it harm constantly, or you may be playing a card game. That's up to you guys. What's going on? What are you guys doing? It's a night shift. You're on duty, but there's really nothing to do.
Playing a card game?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I imagine that I personally was taking my job very seriously, and then this guy came up to me and was like, "Hey, I bet that you suck at cards," and I was like, "Bitch, nuh-uh," and then we played cards.
How's the card game going?
Well, I don't know. I don't have any skills in card gaming, so I didn't think that was important to put points in.
There isn't a specific card gaming skill.
Yeah, hence my lack of points in it.
Therefore, I wouldn't say that there was any sort of skill check to be good at cards.
What about psychology?
Yeah,
do you want to make like a psychology check on each person?
Do you want to make a psychology check?
No, because I'm cheating.
Ooh.
Oh, you're cheating. So do you want to use what, like a reflexes to cheat without getting what is it? What's the one that would be relevant here? Not physical. Which one's the stealth roll?
You want stealth?
I'm trying to, yeah.
Oh, I guess it's not really just stealth.
How do you use stealth? How does one stealth?
Yeah, there's. Is there a? I don't know if there, because there's a combat skill for stealth.
You can just give him awareness.
Yeah. Why don't you? Well, because we have something we need to step. Oh, because then
There is an awareness everyday skill that you can use there. So
there is. Awareness is a skill on the skill list.
Yeah.
Stealth though is a combat skill, so I don't know if you can.
Yeah, just use awareness on see if.
Well, I'll use reflexes, and he can use.
Can you just roll reflexes? It's not on the skill list. See, this is something we needed. We're just trying to figure this out. This is a perfect opportunity to figure out how we would do this in the system.
I say it's
Anyway,
okay. I say it's
I'm
fine.
cheating, and I'm very good at it.
But you're
So,
bad
yeah,
at cards, but you're good at cheating.
All right, so we are just going to then roll your reflexes as if it was a skill for a skill roll. And then we're going to roll Gifka's awareness against it.
So what do you want me to do? Roll 4d6? Because I have 4 reflexes.
No, it's still
no, I'm going to have
3d6
you
plus
add
4.
4 to your 3d6
Yeah.
roll
Oh, yeah,
result.
right.
And if you give me some kind of description, you may get plus or minus 2 on that.
Well, he approached me with a game that I clearly had no inclination of, but I pretended that I did know what he was talking about.
Ooh.
And over several hands of some bizarre Legionnaire card game, of which I have no understanding of, I proceeded to learn the rules and subtly shove cards into my sleeves until like half the deck was gone for some reason. I was like, I don't know where those went. And then I was like, and then I accused him of cheating, and he was like, no, I'm not cheating. And then here we are.
Okay, that's going to get you a minus 2 because that description is not beneficial, but it is great. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Roll your 3d6 with the plus 2, 9. Okay, so 9 has to be beaten by Gifka's now awareness roll.
God, if he failed this, it's going to be so funny.
I don't think I'd be doing anything special, just playing the game and.
So even after he accuses you of cheating, you're not like looking for cheating.
After being accused of cheating, I'd probably be looking out for him cheating. But
all right, so this is why you make the awareness roll, but I'm not going to say that it gives you a plus 2 or anything.
Okay.
So 3d6 plus whatever your awareness is. He's definitely cheating, and he's comically cheating. Like, at one point, he goes to take a drink, and just a whole bunch of cards spill out of his sleeve.
No. Just tell. No, I got this. So do you call me out on it that I'm cheating?
if we're not betting any money or anything, I'm just gonna pretend I don't see it.
Okay. Well, there's no. Yeah. Okay. Good.
So yeah, he's definitely cheating, but then again, it's really just to kill time. It's boring as crap in this cargo bay. Why they honestly they just have you patrol the ship on flights like this to keep the more meatheady security people from getting antsy. Honestly, whether or not that works or not is maybe up to question since you're playing card games instead.
Hey, what are we drinking?
Water.
Oh,
Unless you want to drink something
fine.
else. There is a setting-specific, like, horrifically addictive drink in the game called Draz or something like that, and it's like alcohol mixed with cocaine.
Holy shit.
That's what my guy's gonna be on, yeah.
I mean, it gets you
well-
super hyped, but it also is extremely addictive and destructive, so...
Maybe that's what destroyed humanity, because they're making that powdered alcohol now. You know? Maybe that's
Well-
caught on like a big way, and then they started like lacing it with cocaine and shit. And like that's where it got to this point, you know?
And when I say it's alcohol mixed
Yeah.
with cocaine, I mean that conceptually. It's
Ah.
not alcohol mixed with cocaine. It has the same effects as alcohol and cocaine. It's like an alcoholically addictive drink that gives the effect of cocaine. There. Oh, okay.
Ah.
We're getting off track. You can be drinking that, but it is extremely
What's
addictive.
that called?
I think it's called Draz or Drax. Maybe it's Draz.
Yeah, I remember reading about Draz.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine that I'm very clearly cheating, and I say I'm sick of this water. Hey, Sasquatch, why don't you say that we root through these containers for something stronger to drink?
I don't think that's a very good idea.
Wait, aren't you supposed to be like the captain of the guard there?
Yeah,
Like Cannon?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I take my job very
Well, I was-
seriously. Hey, you want
I
to get
was-
wasted?
I was told that I was not captain of the guard. I wanted to be, but
Okay. Well, I guess you're not then, because you're level 1, so it makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a very good idea. Yeah.
You can certainly be
Well,
in
it's
charge
not
of the
good.
vessel or the vessel security because that's not significant in any way. It's
Okay.
just a transportation vessel. Being in charge of security, a level 1 can be in charge of security on the vessel. Yeah, but I mean, you're not in charge of the colony where everyone is being transported to. You would a level 1 would not be in charge of the law there, per se.
Oh, Okay. Well. All right then. I guess I.
Anyway, now, as I recall, when I asked before, Caswell, you're in your quarters, sleeping? Are you muted?
Every session.
Yeah.
Yes,
Jacob, as I
am
recall,
sleep-
you're sleeping in your quarters?
Yes.
All right, so this is what that looks like, just so we're aware.
Oh, it's
That's him
cute.
sleeping in his quarters.
Nice.
Caswell is an
Sleeping off
adorable childlike Kaltoran. I don't actually know what your character's description is, but that is his
Exactly that.
token.
Childlike?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah,
That would creep
I
me
don't know.
out. But anyway, yeah.
All right, that's what that looks like. And
Sleeping-
finally, Varian, I believe you're in your quarters.
Yeah.
And what specifically are you doing?
I believe as a an aggressive corporate, I'm like sitting there like with some like Iron Man type computer system. I'm like sitting there, I'm like looking at stocks and like like the newest fads and like trying to keep up on my fashion and
You don't quite have an Iron Man computer system, as this is a sort of passenger vessel with.
All right, it's a laptop. It's a laptop then.
Plus,
Sit
you
on
got to
my
remember
laptop.
that there's no internet out here in space.
And 8 bunks. Yeah, you're not. Well, there's typically the capacity to communicate between ships. I imagine it's probably a slower internet connection.
Well, no,
But,
I mean, we're in
well-
the radio place, right? Where there's
Yeah,
no radio
but
waves
you're in the
going
Black Reach Nebula.
Yeah.
So in this instance, you probably just have you probably with forethought, you're going out to the Black Reach Nebula, right? You don't want you can't have radio so with forethought, you probably downloaded all of the current tabloid.
Yeah, like a month's worth of like the stock market and how it's changed, and I'm sitting there just like kind of studying it and trying to like, get a feel and like just constantly teach myself how to like find the right trends and like how to make the best money and the best payoff, that kind of thing.
All right. So
Either that or
yeah.
it's like season 1 of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and you're like, yeah.
Are those quarters carpeted?
Yeah, those are carpeted quarters.
Interesting. You don't see much carpet in space.
Yeah, you know what? I'm bringing that. I'm gonna make that happen. Like the next generation
Shag
had
carpeting.
had a carpeted spacecraft, and ever since then it's been gritty metal grates and.
Yeah, I mean you saw where we were.
Yeah, I mean the cargo bay, obviously, but the passenger
Carpet in
quarters.
the cargo bay.
Yeah, can we get some carpet in the bay?
Those poor
Where's the
dollies.
union for that?
Yeah.
Well, you don't sleep in the cargo bay. You have passenger quarters too. So anyway, you maybe get a muffled groan from someone to turn the goddamn light out at some point, because there are 7 other people sharing your quarters. It's 2 bunks. Each of those beds is 2 bunks on top of each
Oh,
other.
okay. I was about to say, Jim,
but-
they're like
but-
all
there's only 4
snuggling
beds
in
in
there.
Yeah, no, you can't represent multiple layers. So yeah, those are bunk beds. By the way, are you top bottom bunk, top bunk, Varian? Out of curiosity.
I'm a top bunk guy, without doubt. Top bunk guy.
Okay. That being the case,
Does he have like a bump on his head where he hit his head multiple times?
I need you to, Varian,
Okay.
I need you to make a physical check.
To see if you're too overweight to fit on the top bunk.
No.
Oh, I'm slender as shit. I'm good looking, man. Get out of here.
I need you to make a physical check. This is a stability check.
Space fat ass.
That's not quite it. I don't think there's any. This is sort of a reaction roll, so I don't think you can describe to me how you're going. Well, maybe if you want to give it an attempt. There's a sudden lurch of the vessel, and you need to try and stay in the top bunk without falling out.
I'd say the top bunk's like pretty high, so like when the vessel kind of lurches, like I just sort of like push up against the ceiling and like try to pin myself in place. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll give you a +2 at that. However, the entire task is going to be difficult.